Your brain loves to think it's a crystal ball, but spoiler alert, it's more like a sleep-deprived fortune teller making wild guesses about reality. From inventing pain to rewriting your memories, your brain is constantly predicting the future and getting it hilariously wrong. Buckle up, because today we're exposing the disturbing truths behind your brain's secret guessing game. Let's get right into it. Number 11. Your brain predicts reality itself, and we're all living in different versions. Here's where it gets properly disturbing. Every single person you know, friends, strangers, annoying co-workers lives in a different version of reality. Why? Because your brain doesn't just predict external events, it builds an entire simulated model of the world, personalized just for you. Your beliefs, memories, and expectations shape how your brain interprets everything you see, hear, and feel. That means two people can stand in the same room, witness the same event, and walk away with completely different versions of what happened. It's not because someone's lying, it's because their brains predicted different realities based on their internal model. This explains basically all arguments on the internet. You're not just debating opinions, you're clashing entire brain-generated versions of reality, which, by the way, is why changing someone's mind is so hard. You're not swapping facts, you're asking their brain to rebuild its world. Brains hate that. The unsettling takeaway: objective reality exists, sure, but you'll never fully experience it. You'll only ever live inside your brain's best guess, your own private simulation of the world. Number 10. Your brain predicts danger and invents most of it. Let's talk about fear, specifically how your brain is basically a paranoid fortune teller who sees danger everywhere, even when there's none to be found. You know that feeling when you're walking alone at night and suddenly your brain's like, yup, definitely about to be murdered. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and every shadow looks like it's plotting your demise. Logically, you know you're probably fine, but your brain doesn't work on logic, it works on survival. Its job is to predict potential threats before they happen, and it would much rather be wrong 1,000 times than miss one actual danger. This is called hypervigilance, and it's baked into your nervous system. Your brain is constantly scanning your environment, predicting worst-case scenarios based on past experiences, news stories, and that one time your cousin told you about someone getting mugged in a parking lot. The creepy part: your body reacts to these predictions like they're real. Your heart rate spikes, muscles tense, stress hormones flood your system, all because your brain guessed something bad might happen. Basically, your nervous system is throwing a tantrum in your honor just in case. Number 9. Your future feels closer than it really is. You ever notice how the future feels? Weirdly soon. Like, you say things like next year and picture it happening basically now, even if that's 12 whole months away. Yeah, that's your brain's time prediction software being deeply flawed. Psychologists call this temporal compression. Your brain compresses future events to make them feel emotionally closer than they actually are. Why? Because your brain is obsessed with planning, and to plan, it has to simulate the future. But since you don't actually have detailed knowledge of what's coming, your brain simplifies the whole thing, shrinks the timeline, and makes distant events feel imminent. It's why people overcommit to future plans because, oh yeah, that's months away feels emotionally the same as that's next week. Then suddenly, it is next week, and your calendar looks like a revenge plot. This also explains why deadlines feel miles away until they're ambushing you like a surprise exam. Your brain's terrible at accurately predicting how much time you actually have and excellent at tricking you into procrastinating. Moral of the story: your future feels closer, easier, and more manageable, right up until it isn't. Number 8. You predict other people's feelings and sabotage yourself. Here's some fun social anxiety fuel. Your brain isn't just predicting things, it's constantly trying to predict how other people feel, and it's terrible at it. From micro expressions to tone of voice, your brain picks up on subtle cues and builds a prediction of what someone's thinking or feeling. The problem: those predictions are heavily biased by your own insecurities, assumptions, and past experiences. So if you're used to rejection, your brain predicts rejection even if the other person's just distracted or thinking about lunch. That's how you spiral into awkwardness or self-sabotage, all based on a faulty emotional forecast cooked up by your brain's anxiety department. Even worse, Your behavior changes based on that faulty prediction, which can make the negative outcome more likely. Classic self-fulfilling prophecy. Your brain predicts doom. You act weird. People react to the weirdness, and boom, your prediction comes true. The disturbing truth, most of your social stress isn't based on reality. It's your brain running bad simulations of human interaction, like a broken weather app predicting rain on a sunny day. Number 7. Your brain predicts language and fakes it when needed. Ever zoned out during a conversation, then magically nodded or said, "Yeah," totally at the exact right moment even though you didn't catch half the words? Yeah, that wasn't luck. That was your brain predicting the flow of language and autopiloting your responses like a sneaky little AI assistant. Your brain is constantly filling in the blanks of speech, especially in noisy environments or when you're tired. In fact, neuroscientists found that your brain predicts entire words before they're even spoken, based on context and experience. That's why, in a loud cafe, you can still understand your friend saying, "I'll grab a coffee," even if half the sentence got drowned out by espresso machines and screaming toddlers. But here's where it gets weirder. If your brain's prediction engine glitches, it'll sometimes insert totally fake words into your perception. That's why you mishear song lyrics, or confidently think someone said your name when they definitely didn't. In short, your understanding of language isn't a flawless translation, it's a predictive guessing game, and your brain is winging it more often than you'd like to believe. Number 6, your future memories are already being edited. Ever been so sure about a childhood memory only to find out later it never happened, or happened totally differently? Welcome to the world of predictive memory, where your brain doesn't just store the past, it constantly rewrites it to fit your current predictions about yourself. Here's the twisted part. Every time you remember something, your brain edits that memory based on who you are now, not who you were then. That nostalgic road trip with friends, your brain filters it through your current beliefs, mood, and even self-esteem. If you're feeling confident, the memory feels like an epic adventure. If you're down on yourself, suddenly it feels awkward and cringy. Worse, your brain predicts what should have happened and sneaks those details into the memory, blending fantasy with reality over time. The memory shifts so much that you're basically reminiscing about a fictional version of your own life, written by your over-eager, predict-happy brain. So yeah, your past isn't safe. Your brain is already rearranging the furniture in your mental living room to match its future predictions. Enjoy! Number 5, your brain predicts you and sometimes gets it wrong. Here's a fun existential crisis. Your sense of you, your identity, your personality, your inner monologue, it's all part of the same predictive system. Your brain isn't just guessing the outside world, it's constantly predicting your own behavior, emotions, and choices, sometimes before you're even aware of them. Ever blurted something out in a conversation and thought, "Whoa, where did that come from?" Yeah, your brain predicted your reaction based on past experiences and social patterns, and your conscious mind is basically playing catch-up. In fact, research shows your brain often initiates decisions milliseconds before you consciously decide, meaning your brain has already predicted your actions and kindly lets your conscious mind think it was in charge. It's kind of like your brain is writing a choose-your-own-adventure book, but with 90% of the choices pre-written and you flipping through the pages thinking you're the author. Comforting. Right, you're not fully steering the ship. You're reading the ship's manual that your brain ghost wrote in advance. Number 4, your brain predicts pain and sometimes invents it. Ever bumped your shin on a table and winced before the pain even properly kicked in? That's not because you're super tough or hyper aware, it's because your brain sometimes predicts pain and, hilariously, gets a little too excited about it. See, pain isn't just a raw signal from your nerves, it's a construct of prediction your brain makes based on context, expectation, and past experience. If your brain expects something to hurt, it often decides, "Yep, that's gonna suck," and delivers pain even before the injury fully registers. That's why you can sometimes feel pain without any real damage happening. Phantom limb pain, classic example. People literally feel pain in a limb that isn't even there, all because their brain predicts that area should hurt. On the flip side, if your brain's distracted or doesn't expect pain, you can experience zero pain from something that should hurt. That's why athletes finish marathons with broken toes or soldiers in battle don't notice injuries until after the adrenaline fades. Basically, your pain system is less like an alarm system and more like a nervous, over-caffeinated intern making wild guesses in your brain's control room. Number 3, you hallucinate the world to stay sane. Before you panic, no, you're not seeing pink elephants unless you're sleep deprived or on certain substances, in which case, good luck. But in a very real, very unsettling way, you are hallucinating constantly. Neuroscientists call it predictive coding. Your brain isn't just reacting to the world, it's predicting what's about to happen and filling in the details, often before your senses even catch up. For example, when you reach for your coffee cup, you don't consciously process every angle, shadow, or reflection. Your brain just assumes, yep, that's the cup, same as always, and autopilots your hand towards it. Most of the time, it works. Other times, you wildly miss the cup and slap the table like an idiot and suddenly remember your brain was just guessing all along. This is also why optical illusions mess with your head. Your brain makes predictions based on patterns it thinks should exist, and when reality doesn't match, your internal version of the world basically crashes like a bad software update. So yeah, you're hallucinating for efficiency. It's the only reason you're not overwhelmed by raw sensory chaos 24/7. But it does mean your reality is just a well-managed illusion. Sleep tight. Number 2, your brain edits reality like a bad movie. Let's say you're at a party, I know, social anxiety loading already, and someone calls your name from across the room. You turn, but weirdly, you thought you heard them before they even finished saying your name, almost like your brain rewound the audio. That wasn't your imagination glitching. That's real. It's called post-dictive processing, and it's your brain's sneaky little trick to make reality seem smoother than it actually is. Here's how it works. Your brain takes in tons of raw data sounds, sights, smells, and instead of sending it all to your consciousness like a chaotic live stream, it holds onto that info for a few milliseconds. Then it pieces the puzzle together, like editing a movie scene before handing it over to you. The creepy part. That means your present moment already happened, and your brain is just delivering it late like a shady news anchor, pre-recording the evening headlines and acting like it's happening live. Why? To avoid confusion. Your brain hates inconsistencies. If something feels out of order, like seeing a glass fall before hearing it smash, your brain panic. So it rearranges the timeline slightly to make everything feel neat and sensible. Translation. You're walking around with a carefully edited version of reality that's always a little bit delayed and completely manufactured. Number 1, your brain sees the future wrong constantly. Imagine trying to drive a car, but your windshield is foggy, your side mirrors are 2 seconds behind, and your GPS is based on wild guesses from last week. Congratulations. That's basically how your brain handles reality. See, your brain isn't some high-definition, real-time broadcast machine. Nope. It's more like an overconfident psychic with memory problems. Every moment, your brain is predicting what's happening right now, based entirely on your past experiences. It fills in the blanks and hopes it's getting it right. So, when you see a friend waving at you across the street, your brain already guessed that movement before your eyes fully processed it. Most of the time, it's right. Other times, well, that's how you end up smiling and waving back at a complete stranger who is actually just swatting a mosquito. Your brain has to predict like this because sensory information takes time to process, tiny fractions of a second, sure, but enough that if your brain waited for the full download, you'd be reacting like a Windows 98 computer, constantly lagging behind. Bottom line, you're basically living in a hallucination of your brain's best guess. So yeah, the future, you've already seen it, just probably wrong. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.